Hello, everyone, and we are live. Are we ready for the live? Jorge, all good? Yeah, good. So welcome everyone who is watching. This is Kaunas Piano Fest with you, and today we're doing a discussion about money and arts, and can these two things go together? And I have my wonderful guest, Tomas Gumauskas. I just learned his surname.
Oh yeah, Gumauskas, that's a wonderful surname. Nice to be here, yeah. Thanks for the invitation. And I hope everyone is going to take a lot from our discussion.
Yes, we said with Thomas that none of us know anything. I don't know anything about money, and Thomas doesn't know anything about music.
Totally.
So it's going to be an interesting discussion. So I can tell you a little bit how this all happened. So I was participating in a youth festival called Percunia.
Yep.
How would you say this in English? It's like Percunia. How would you?
You can say thunderstorm or something
Yes.
like that. Yeah.
And I participated in financial picnic.
Yeah,
Something like that,
indeed,
right?
yeah.
And I went there, I sat, and I saw this young guy talking about money so well, and I was like, how old? How old are you, Thomas? Tell me.
Yeah, I'm 20, yeah. And
So, yeah, you're 20, and I'm 26, and you know more about money than me.
but you know a lot about more music, yeah, so.
Yeah. So, and I thought, oh my God, you know, I mean, I think I'm at this stage in my life where I really think about money a lot.
Yeah.
And I just thought how great it is that you are so young and you are already thinking about it. So maybe we could start our conversation just if you could tell me a little bit about you and what do you study actually,
Yeah.
and then we go why you went to finances.
Okay, so my surname is Gumauskas, that's really funny. As you got to know it.
It's like a gum, right?
Yeah, it's like a gum, indeed. When people don't get my surname, because it's quite unusual in Lithuania, so it's just like gum, but Auskas with Auskas, Gumauskas. It's funny. I hope it's funny.
It is funny.
Okay, so I'm studying in Tilburg in the Netherlands. Currently I'm in Kaunas because of coronavirus. I'm studying global management of social issues. But with friends we started Serija F, like financial literacy channel. We want to spread some good news, I guess, some financial news to the youth, to make them a little bit more literate in this field. And I think and I hope it's going well, and we're doing it. So yeah, that's a bit about me. But I think we will get to know each other a bit more while speaking. So what about you, Monika? Can you tell me a bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm organizer of Kaunas Piano Fest,
Oh, yeah.
but I myself, I study as well. I study in Vienna. I study chamber music now, and I also have a solo masters for piano
Yeah.
and bachelor's as well. So I'm
Okay.
doing my second master's in Vienna, but now in chamber music. So
What is chamber music?
chamber music, what is
Yeah,
chamber
okay,
music?
I'm totally not good in this field.
Chamber music is when you learn how to play with other people.
Okay.
So, you know, I had my solo, so I
Yeah.
played a lot of solo piano, and now I'm trying to learn how to be with other people. And it's actually a very interesting thing
Okay.
for music, because especially for pianists, we are very often alone.
Yeah.
And,
Indeed.
you know, and then in life you actually have to do things together. Like we saw each other, we met,
Yeah.
and we decided to do this. So, yes, and money was always a big topic for me in arts. I hope it's actually for everyone who's watching. I hope actually, because you know,
Yeah.
we say that you cannot buy happiness
Yeah.
with money, or it's not important in life, but it is very important, and it is very important if you want to do creative things. Like say
Exactly, yeah.
this festival is happening just because we have a little bit of money, you know, and we can host our pianists. So money actually is crucial in life, right?
Indeed, yeah. Like our world like turns around because of money, and it moves because of money. Pretty much everything you do involves, you know, paying someone and exchanging value. You know, someone I know makes a life for you, and you give them money and exchange values in this sense. So yeah, it turns around money, and yeah, we'll talk about it today.
Yeah.
So I hope we will get to know things and help each of our fields to, I know, get to know a bit more.
It's interesting what you said about paying for value or
Yeah.
services, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a very interesting thing, which I think phenomena happening in arts, that people are struggling to actually pay for this type of service, because
Yeah.
it's something. And I actually wrote one question for you about, can we pay or put a price on unmaterialistic things, kind of, you know?
Yeah, you know, it's like services, I guess, you know, and services like a kind of materialistic, but kind of not, like games, music, and all these things, you know. It's art and culture, and to value it, it's quite difficult, you know, because raw materials used, like there's pretty much none, and costs involved in creating it, not always, but sometimes can be really low, and it's just most of the time just the artists, you know, making up his things in mind, in his head, and putting it on canvas or paper or screen or something like that. So it's really hard to put a price tag on it, but yeah, it's, as I said, it's exchanging values, you know. If a person enjoys like music a lot, and this type of music, for example, I don't really like pop, but it's like the newest thing for me. I just started listening to Dua Lipa, which is like crazy, not my style, you know, but it's just funny. And yeah, sometimes I listen it on YouTube, I get an ad, and we exchange values this way. Dua Lipa gets some money from me watching the ad, and I get the music, and I enjoy it, and I'm ready to pay up a bit for it.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's, you know, how much value is created, and how in demand is this artist, which determines his price, I guess, and all these things.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that nowadays we can get so many things for free.
Yeah.
Like everything is for free on YouTube, you know. Even like you do this YouTube channel, and I do my podcast, and it's kind of for free.
Yeah,
but then you understand that to actually make it, you need money. And what I wanted to say, for example, even with Spotify. Okay, Spotify, for example, it charges a little bit of money, but very often you would not buy the album because you have it on Spotify.
Totally.
And I remember, as an example, I really loved Jacob Collier. He's like a pop jazz musician, like plus classical. I don't know what style.
It sounds cool. Like I will listen
no,
to you.
great guy. And actually, I paid for his album because I thought that he creates an amazing value, and I made this decision to actually pay. So I think it could be also like a consciousness, you know, like when it could be like education thing, that, you know, if you are enjoying, because like art is it's not an objective thing. So I think we as people who are using this service could be educated in a way that you should be mindful about that, and maybe you know, just to be mindful about it and actually pay for it. Like I paid for Jacob Collier's CD.
Oh yeah, that's really nice. But you know, going back to economics, it's in a sense, people don't want to pay for things and get their value. You know, it's sensible because, you know, you want to.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
People don't want to pay for things, pretty much.
Pretty much, you don't want to pay. You want to get everything for free.
You want to, you know, limit your spending of resources. For example, if you want to build a car, you don't want to build it from like the fanciest materials. You want to lower your costs, and you want to spend. You don't want to spend a lot of money. This is with music. I don't want to pay for every album I want to listen.
Yeah. You're
but
right.
you know, it's a conscious thing, as you said. If you're conscious about it, if you love the artists, you should support it. It's like Patreon on YouTube and all these other sites. In Lithuania, we have another site like Patreon. You know Patreon?
Patreon, yeah. Yeah, I have Patreon as well.
Yeah. Are you supporting someone on Patreon?
Me, I don't support anyone, but
people support
people
you.
support open art, and we also have Patreon for Kaunas Piano Fest.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's a little one, but still.
No, it's still something. Yeah, we thought about opening a Patreon as well. But the matter of, you know, the thing is that if people. Yeah, the culture of supporting the artists you love is wonderful, and I think we should work on that totally. But when opportunities arise to get that thing free, you know, to listen to the music for free, to watch movies for free, pirate them, which is totally it's totally bad. But you know, still opportunities arise, and people most often try to, you know, capitalize on these opportunities to save money. which is totally understandable economically, you know, but morally, maybe it's not too good.
Yeah, but we are people. We are bad.
Exactly.
we
yeah,
are bad.
Like we want to save money. It's understandable. Like to be frank, you know, when I was 16 or 15, I didn't pay for movies I watched, you know, because I didn't have money, but I still want to watch it. And if there is an opportunity to you know, get a resource for free, it's like it's sensible to do it.
True.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit why you started this channel and what are you talking about in that channel? I mean, it's in Lithuania now, but maybe you'll do it in English. And because it's interesting, I had economics when I was studying in my gymnasium here. But first of all, I was not interested why I need this. Second of all, I didn't understand anything. And now, for example, what happened for me in during COVID situation, I was not registered as a freelancer. You know, I was always I was student, but I was also working a little bit in Europe and in UK, playing concerts. And what happened that when the first lockdown kicked, I didn't have any social securities.
Okay, yeah, that's.
And it's just because at 25 I was like, oh, it's fine. I'm still a student. I don't need to register. And I could have gotten money, and for the half a year I didn't get any money, and then it hit me. I was like, oh my god, what I'm doing in my life, you know?
Exactly. When you're a freelancer, it's like we'll talk about it, starting with Serija F, I guess, because I can start talking about that. So as I said, we started this channel with friends, and we tried talking about financial literacy. Oh, it was last September, I think. We came up with an idea, and I just came up with an idea that we can gather people, we can gather resources, human capital, as they say, and create something really cool and useful for other people. So we did it. We started with 4 people, 4-man festival team, I guess. 4-man festival because like we're just doing crazy things and working for free. Like we are putting so much time into this, but not getting back anything, which is totally reasonable. You know, we just want to improve our skills and help other people, and we are doing that. So I'm happy for that. And we're talking about financial literacy, stocks, saving money, investing money, emergency funds, and all these things. So it's wonderful content. If you are Lithuanian, come and just take a look, because I think it's quite useful. So yeah.
So what do you think is the
and I started talking about freelancers in your you know, question, which was which consisted of few parts. So yeah, when you're a freelancer, like social security, you should take into account that quite early in your freelancing career, because you have to have quite a huge emergency fund. You have to be prepared to pay your taxes in the end of the year. Because in Lithuania we have individuali veikla. I don't know how it's in English, how it's called, but you know, it's just a way to pay your taxes as a freelancer, and you have to pay it in the end of the year, and you have to, like, I heard some people not putting aside some money for that, and they're just going into debt, and that's crazy, sad. So yeah.
I just wanted to maybe ask you, you know, about first steps, because when we were in that picnic, I remember you started talking about investments and investing, you know, your money, and there were like, I don't know, 10 younger people than me, and they're like, yeah, we invest. Exactly. I'm 20, I already invest, you know, I have I have this safety net behind me, you know, and I think especially with the 21st century, when we want to be free, we want to not only like financially free, but we want to have creative jobs. We want to do something, you know, expressive and express ourselves, not necessarily arts. And there's always risk, right?
Oh, yeah,
there's
indeed.
always risk.
Totally.
So, why to invest?
Why to invest?
How to invest?
So first of all, if you're like a freelance or just like, it applies to everyone, I guess. You need to build up your financial safety net. You need to build your emergency fund. If you have a stable job, which covers all your like social securities and all these things, your healthcare, you should have at least like 3 months. Like it's the bare minimum 3 months of your spending money in your bank account. You know how much you spend in a month. You have to have saved 3 months of that sum. Oh, look, I tell it and it sounds interesting. In the sense that I'm not putting it correctly in English, but you should save up 3 months worth of your expenses, something like that.
At least 3 months.
Yeah,
At least
exactly.
3 months, yeah.
If you like have a stable job. If you're a freelancer, like 6 months is the bare minimum, because you know social securities, insurances. If you get your leg broken or something like that, and you can't go to the concert because of that, your only income source is gone, and it's just you have to be prepared for that.
But this is very theoretical, I would say. You know, imagine not everyone can actually put that money aside. And if you are say you're a student, you don't work too much, you have a limited amount of money during the month, what to do then?
Yeah, totally understandable. It's like a slow path to your financial safety success. But you should set aside your, first of all, budget your money. It's extremely important to see how much what is your income, what's your expenses. And to begin with, you should try to at least balance your expenses and income. So because, at least I'm a student and I know a lot of other students, and we just spend all their money and we have to ask our parents for help, which is, when you have your parents which can help you, it's wonderful because,
But not everyone can actually do that.
But not everyone, and the time will come when your parents are going to say, no, it's enough, you're going to have to live your life. So balance your income and spending, it's really important. And when you're in a net zero region, when you're not saving or losing or gaining any money, you should start thinking about trying and making your emergency fund. Just saving 30 to 50 euros every month if you can. 10% or 20% of your income should go to, first of all, emergency fund. Afterwards, when you have 3 months covered of your expenses in your emergency fund, you should start investing. Yeah, and another part is investing. So yeah, I hope it's not too boring.
No, it's very interesting. Please elaborate.
Yeah, and when it comes to investing, when you have your 3 months covered, you can, that you can chill and relax for 3 months and nothing will happen because you have your money in your bank account for these 3 months. Then you should start thinking about investing, because when you're young, compound interest is a thing. I'm getting hyped because it's quite my topic. You should start when you're 20, for example. If you invest 50 euros a month or something like that every
50
month.
Euros.
50 euros, for
50
example.
Euros, yeah.
Yeah, I can't recall the exact calculations, but because of compound interest and interest of around 7% from the stock market.
Can you tell me what is compound interest?
Compound interest, sudetiniai procentai in Lithuanian. When you got 100 euros and the return on your investment, for example, I invested 100 euros in, in Maxima, for example. Yeah.
It's a shopping mall. Shopping mall? Yeah, shopping mall. Supermarket.
Yeah, supermarket
in Lithuania.
Of sorts. A big company, yeah. And it pays yearly about 10%. The return is 10%.
So for sure.
For example's sake. And next year you're going to have 110 euros. Yeah, because we paid 10% of return, and your investment now is 110 euros. And next year, you're going to have 10% from 110 euros, which is, still a bit more, and it's going to be 111 euros, I think. I don't know, but let's hope it's correct. 121. Yeah. Okay, but yeah, the main thing is that you're going to get more and more money because of compound interest, because the money is going to add up, and in the end you're going to have not 100 euros but 151 euros and 10% from 151 euros. So the earlier you start investing, which is really important, the more compound interest you're going to get, which in the end for few first years is going to be small, but
so you have to be patient in a way.
Exactly. Totally patient, but after 15 years, which is a huge time, the compound interest is going to hit you quite well, in the sense that, it's going to be really good and your returns are going to be fantastic. So yeah, investing, simple thing. First of all, you should start with your In USA, it's 401k. It's an investment fund. In Lithuania, you have pension funds, I guess you can call them that. Pensijų fondai in Lithuanian. And you should start investing in them. You should start with your antra pakopa, second
like step.
Yeah. Because in Lithuania we have 3 steps. So you should start with second step, and third is always good. Afterwards, if you're investing in your pension fund, you should start putting money aside and investing in the stock market or whatever you like, pretty much. You can these days you can do a lot of different things regarding investing. You can use real estate. Now there's a few pages, Lithuanian pages, where you can invest in real estate, but a lot of people are investing in a same building, and you just get your return, but I guess compounded, because everyone is adding their money and buying the same property. If you don't have a lot of money, you can put aside €1,000, invest in that property.
Yes, exactly. This is what I wanted to ask you, because I wanted to do that with through the bank, and apparently I don't earn enough. So I had to pay so much. The percentage is so high that I will actually kind of lose a lot of money as well.
Okay, so what did you want to do with the bank?
I think it was like a second step or something like that. But
oh, really?
Yeah, I had she said that you should have stable income.
Yeah,
or something like that.
You should.
Because in my situation is like I get some scholarships maybe, and then I want to, but it's not really stable.
Yeah.
So what would you say would be the best thing to do if you don't have stable income?
Yeah, for example, I invest in stock market. We're talking in such a financial terms. I hope people understand these things.
You can just tell me a little bit, what is stock market?
Yeah. Stock market is like, for example, to begin with, stocks. Like, what are stocks? Stocks are. It's really simple, but how to. Oh, I thought it said Serija F for a second, and it's wrote akcininkas, which means stock holder.
Holder,
Yeah, but stocks in essence is a piece of company. So for example, if we have a company, Maxima, once again, and we have 100 stocks of Maxima, if you have one stock, you have 1% of the whole company.
Okay.
Fair enough, yeah. And the whole revenue and every asset of the company, like 1% of all the assets and revenues belong to you, pretty much.
Okay, so like a little part of the company belongs to you.
Exactly, and you can earn dividends from that. Dividends are, when company pays you, company makes huge revenues and does really good, it can pay you a bit of money, just pay you, exactly, because you have a stock of them.
Okay.
So, for example, Coca-Cola pays good dividends, so every 4 months, I guess.
You said Tesco, right?
Tesco, I have Tesco. Yeah. Tesco pays good dividends as well. So
it's a UK brand, right? Are the UK?
I think USA, maybe, or UK.
Even USA, because I lived when I lived in Scotland, they had Tesco. I always thought that it's UK brand.
Yeah.
Even our photographer lives in Scotland.
Yeah, so dividends is a good way for passive income. If you have a lot of money invested, like, for example, but it's like a lot of money, €50,000 or something like that. From dividends, you could expect like 500, 400
Don't forget your mic.
Oh yeah, totally, don't forget my mic. Yeah, so dividends is a passive way to get some income, but the most important thing is appreciation of your capital. So the value of your company increases because the company gets bigger and people want to invest in that company. And I wanted to put it simply, it's quite interesting. But the main thing is that if Maxima does well, it grows, it has more assets, and if you invested €50, for example, Maxima, €100, we like hundreds, yeah.
You mean 100 a month, say?
No,
or
like just 100 in general. You just
okay.
You bought, for example, 2 stocks of Maxima. Each stock costs €50, so you have €100 worth of Maxima stock.
Okay.
Yeah? And Maxima grows, becomes bigger. People believe in Maxima because they think Maxima is going to do well, and Maxima is lovely. Like It's a commercial for Maxima, most probably, even if you're doing it.
Maxima,
really
if you're listening,
Yeah.
support Kaunas Piano Fest.
Exactly. And if people are expecting Maxima to grow and become stronger, they're going to want to pay more for that stock, and the price of it is going to increase because supply and demand. The same amount of stocks are competing for more money because people want the stock more. So yeah.
Okay, so you're saying even with say 100 euros,
Yeah.
you can actually build your little safety net.
Oh yeah,
at
like
least.
you can start like with 10 euros. It was, for example, take the 100 euros, but you can start with 5 euros, 10 euros, 500 euros, what you want. For example, I like to do my investing through Revolut.
Okay.
Because there's an opportunity to do that there. And it's really simple, it's really affordable, their commissions are not too high, and you just can start and choose what kind of stock you want. If you like listening to music a lot and you believe Spotify, you can buy some stocks of Spotify.
And how this process begins? Like, say, where do you have to register or some? It probably differs in every single country, but maybe you could say something.
So you have a broker of yours from which you're going to buy your stocks. For example, Revolut. You just go to the stocks page and you sign up, fill out a few forms about your income, about your expenses, about your experience in investing in stock market and all these things. And most of the times you get accepted, and you can invest, start from that.
You can plan your financial happy future.
Exactly. But first of all, you should know that investing is a risk to begin with, because you can lose your money. So to begin with, emergency fund and some savings is key. Afterwards, if you're feeling lucky, stocks is a good thing to start, because annual return is about 7% a year. So you can expect historically, from last 50 years, I think, the average return of stock market was 7% a year. So it's decent. It's really decent returns for doing nothing, pretty much. So.
But say if you are investing a little money, is it better to actually keep it for a longer period? Because say in 1 year, if I invest 20 euros, I will probably not get that much. So we should plan it, to keep that money at least 5 years or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's like. Yeah, totally. So it's because of compound interest, which we talked about. It's really good to just put it in some stock, to buy Spotify and keep it for 10 to 15 years, which sounds crazy, but the liquidity of stocks is quite high. Liquidity is a term which defines how easily you can take out your money from that asset or thing. So example, if you have a bar of gold, for example, it's not so much liquid as a stock, because you have a bar of gold, you have to go to some place, maybe it's going to buy that gold, maybe it's not going to buy that gold, or for example, if you have a house, it can take some time to sell that house. So it's not as liquid because you can't take that money from your investment so easily. But stocks are really liquid, so you can sell them almost instantly, which is really good. So if you are in an emergency, you can always sell your stocks and get your money back almost instantly. Not recommended, but you can do that. So investing is really good in stocks or other things, but emergency fund is the first.
Is the first thing to think about.
Yeah, exactly. But talking about freelancers, how how freelancing in Lithuania works regarding musicians and artists. For example, even classical music freelancer.
Oh.
Because it's your field, I guess.
Yes. When we talked about this, I was like, I don't really know.
Yeah.
It feels like, I wonder if in other fields there are certain rules which kind of work, right? But I guess freelancing, how does it work in Lithuania? I think the first idea which came to my head was that there is no set price, because I thought that for example, there should be a limit how much you could pay.
A limit?
A limit, lowest possible. You know, it couldn't be like 20 euros. It couldn't be like 30 euros.
Yeah.
And I think very often what happens, as I don't know in Lithuania, but in Scotland, what I had a couple of concerts and I didn't have to pay, for example, for the hall, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in Lithuania, it's very often that you have to pay yourself for the hall.
Yeah.
And then only if you are selling enough tickets,
Yeah.
it will come back. And then what I thought about it, that maybe, you know, there should be more support in like cultural field regarding supporting artists. So for example, if I'm, say, there should be maybe age limit until when, as an artist, maybe you could have like discount for the hall or something like that, you know? Because think about it, if people will not want to pay 20 euros for my ticket.
Fair enough.
And then it's classical music, and then it's not pop culture, so I will not have a lot of audience, and then I will have to actually pay for my own concert, you know?
Yeah, indeed. Yeah,
So
it happens like many times when you're talking about like freelancers and performance and creators. Indeed, like we with Serija F, even like we're losing money, like
we're losing. Yeah,
exactly. And it just, I guess, a cost of doing business in a sense that one day you can expect to become a big star, you know? And
building your name.
Exactly, you know, like I guess it's sometimes can be an illusion of building your name.
It feels like this.
It could feel like it, but yeah, I think it's true, and it's political decisions. Like these, when you're talking about helping freelancers and building a safety net for them, when the country helps them or establishes some basic prices on how much a performer should cost. Yeah, so it's political decisions, and yeah, I think it would require quite a bit of lobbying to establish these things. But to begin with, I think you should establish your mindset as a freelancer or creator that, you know, most probably in the beginning you will lose money. You have to account for that. But maybe one day something good will come out of that. And branding is a big thing in that, but maybe we'll talk about it.
Yeah, you mentioned, it was so funny when we talked, and you said what creates supply and demand. Yeah. And then there are so many musicians, and Lithuania is one thing. Of course, actually it's very interesting because in Lithuania we have so many good professionals, and you know, I talk especially from the classical music field. Everyone who are in the solo scene or like chamber music scene, you know.
Oh yeah, now I know this thing.
Playing with chamber music, it means chamber. It's like a hall but smaller.
Chamber,
you know,
or
chamber, like a chamber.
Okay.
It used to be. This is how it started. It used to be in like a smaller, bigger rooms, but not halls. And this is why it was more intimate, you know? Yeah. So going back to the scene in Lithuania, everyone plays really well, you know, everyone is great. And then it was very funny because when we talked among us, we talk about branding. I mean, among musicians, we talk, you know, it's very important. And then we talk with you, and you are not really from the, you know, art circle. You said the same thing, that you have to you know, say that you are there.
Yeah, we talked about it beforehand, and yeah, we have a lot of musicians, and why people are, you know, performing for free, because there is so many of people who want to perform, some free, some not, but the case is that if you have a lot of people who want to supply a service or a thing, and the demand is really low, of course, like, people are going to fight for his demand and say that I'm going to do it for free to establish my brand and all these things. So when demand is low, people don't want us like a simple performer, you know. You can, like, for example, a case study, a simple performer which does his job well, you know, plays well and all these things, but like not a lot of people know him. But he's pretty much branding in the sense that you have to be a bit different, good in that field, but a bit different in some way you present yourself. Yeah,
it's a very interesting thing what you said, because it is exactly what happens in our field. Yeah. Because I personally know, you know, geniuses. Literally, I know geniuses regarding music or writing music. but actually they're not living from that. They're not living from the performing, and their music never reaches audiences, although they're extremely good professionals in that field, you know. So this is an example of what you're saying.
Yeah, definitely, because people, people of course want good music, but really I think like a really sophisticated top class of people want like to hear like the excellent perfect music, because I couldn't distinguish like really good classical music between like not so good classical music, most probably. I just want to see a person, you know. I just want to know that person, and I want to listen to his music. As I said with Dolce & Gabbana, like shoes or something like that, you know. The cost of doing shoes, like of making shoes, is like 10 euros. But, you know, you put a sticker in it and it costs like 150 euros. So you have to put a sticker on yourself. In a sense, it can sound bad, but the idea is that people want to see your sticker, not your performance, in a sense. Like,
and especially maybe now, because, you know, it feels like people will pay for the personality. Of course, the product, if we talk about music, it is very important. But you say, you know, you can listen great music on Spotify.
Yeah.
And if you actually are willing to go to the hall, you are most likely going to see the person.
Exactly.
And I remember I was listening one of the podcasts, you know, about classical music, and the guest kind of asked this rhetorical question: why should I go to a concert if I have more fun having, you know, watching Netflix?
Yeah.
So
totally.
like the performer, he has to become so inventive in a way that person would actually choose coming to the concert than actually watching Netflix. But then it goes back to the classical music itself, that you know, you cannot really be inventive as much in a way, because it's kind of classical Western culture, traditional music. You know how, so this is just a philosophical question.
Yeah, indeed. But yeah, I think it's building community and distinguishing yourself. So people would come, as you said, for you as a person, more so than for the music. In the sense that, you know, a lot of musicians, as you said, there's like a lot of good, really professional musicians in Lithuania. But like the ones who distinguish themselves are like different, I guess, in their branding, and because they play the same music pretty much everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that's also an issue, because we all play the same music. We
yeah,
don't
so
really
like how except, you know, branding yourself well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Branding is important.
I think, in everywhere, like, exactly. Yesterday I watched like a really good documentary on Netflix about like dictators and history and all these things, and how people become dictators. It's like really interesting. They just brand themselves really well, you know. They come up with an idea like that. For example, Trump, we're going to make America great again. He wasn't a dictator, but like he came with a strong idea, and people just resonate with it. And they don't care about his policy pretty much. We just want to hear nice things which we want to hear. And you have to build your community which is based on an idea. Maybe an idea that all your community is sophisticated and really intelligent and all these things, and you have to brand for like these intelligent, sophisticated people, so they feel this way. Exactly. When they come to your concert, they're like, oh, I'm coming to Monika's concert, like I'm like so cool, and that. So yeah, we have to have a feeling, you know. You have to feel proud to come to your concert, not just to come to listen to music, but you just have to feel like, wow, I'm listening to Monika, you know.
So technically you can put a price on non-materialistic things.
No,
and
like
you can pay for it, you know?
People
you pay
are
for the
paying,
feeling,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, what else do I have?
I think we have a lot of questions, like we just elaborating quite a bit on everything.
Return on investment, social benefits, inelastic supply.
Inelastic supply, yeah, as we talked about performers. And a lot of children these days go to musical schools to learn like to play violin or piano or something like that. And inelastic supply means that regardless of the price paid for the service or thing, people are still going to supply this product or service. For example, if you know that these days a lot of musicians are playing without any capital benefit, without any financial incentive, in the sense that they play for free, still young children are going to learn these skills, like to play piano, to play violin, because we're not really concerned about making money in the future.
Yeah.
But now, like, we just want to learn to play an instrument. So inelastic supply is that just people are still going to do it, regardless if they're playing for thousands of euros or for free. So that's an issue once again, because it increases the chances that the creators are not going to get paid a decent sum, because regardless of what sum they are paid, new people are going to come into the market, which will want to brand themselves and build an image, which are going to play for free. So
it's exactly like if I stop, say, being a musician.
Yeah, it's going to help other musicians.
Okay.
Exactly.
Oh, so this is actually like, it's a little bit like a battlefield.
Exactly. Yeah. If like there would be like 3 musicians in Kaunas, you one of them, you would get like great money for your performance, like great money. But when there's plenty of musicians, it's battlefield for attention. And when everyone wants to get attention, they play for free, and it increases the chances that no one is going to get paid in the end. So,
on one hand, I feel like, okay, in general, maybe arts, this kind of maybe more traditional art, there is little money in this field, and the big competition, right?
Yeah.
But when you think, for example, YouTube channel, it's kind of also creative activity, because you have to create the content. You
have to write, produce.
Yeah, produce. You are also a creator. You are artist.
Yeah.
It's also very big competition.
Totally.
I feel like I'm just saying this to me and to the audience who is listening, that very often I feel like, oh my God, this classical music field is so closed, there is no space. But everywhere is like that,
Yeah, totally.
Take YouTube, it's like saturated, everything is saturated.
These days, yeah, pretty much. And when we came to YouTube, we saw quite a bit of competition. When it comes to finances, not so much. So I'm happy.
Especially Lithuanian.
Especially Lithuanian, and for the youth, like we are like targeting a really niche target group, which is
also targeting niche. I think it's important.
Oh yeah, it's totally important. Totally.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes when targeting too small of a niche, you can lose a bit, because like if there is no young people interested in finances, you're screwed. But we are in Lithuania. I hope we are. So I hope it's not going to be too bad. But the market, is saturated. A lot of people are competing for interest of other people, and you have to be a lot better than the current people in the market to get that interest. Because when talking about YouTube, we have a few creators which are talking about finances, and I know that we have to be a lot better than them to get their audience to us, because we're used to seeing his face, they are used to seeing his content, and we are subscribed to him, all these things. I think the same applies to musicians and freelancers, that you have to be quite a bit better, maybe not even in your performances, regarding music, but in your presentation of yourself as a person. Branding and communication.
Yeah.
So yeah, what was the topic? Like, Timo, just
I don't know. The topic was brand. I guess we just talked about branding and how to inelastic supply. Yeah. I remember you said something about how much musicians' hour costs.
Yeah. Like, how do you price yourself? Like, how much does your hour cost of time?
It's a very interesting question, because if I would charge for the amount which I actually practiced, and I invested, like, say, okay, I have a concert, I'm performing a piece by Ravel. It took me 80 hours to learn it. 80 hours. And I must say that probably that hour could not be like minimal wage, like it's not like 7 euros.
Yeah, like you're a skilled worker,
Yeah. I have bachelors, I have masters, and so it wouldn't make sense. unless maybe you are a superstar, then it makes sense. So then what happens when you become older in this field, you really start questioning if the return is anyhow equal to the amount you actually invested. And when you are younger, you feel like, okay, I can invest that time. It's a little bit like human IPO, what you talked about.
Yeah, totally.
Like I invest this time in music, like crazy amount of hours.
Yeah.
And then in the end you don't get.
Yeah, it's investing in yourself, and you like learning to play an instrument or doing other things. But you should pick a field where you think it would be wise to invest in yourself, because investing like thousands of hours into playing an instrument is really nice. But when talking about finances, if like 10,000 other people are doing the same thing, the competition is extremely huge, and the demand is not. So you should understand if you're doing it for money or just for yourself. Because if you're doing it for money, I think it would be quite a bit easier to learn to code or something like that to earn money. But
I think, and then it comes this point that probably doing this, I mean, it is hard to survive in music, really hard, especially to live from it. And then it comes this not emergency fund is one thing, but having this safety net like behind money behind, it feels like, if I would have a stable income coming from somewhere or like say investments, I could keep doing this. It's a little bit like creating YouTube channel, if you have something behind you, you can keep doing this.
Yeah, totally fair enough. But it's really hard to build passive income. Passive income is like, I don't know, the golden chest which is buried in a deserted island, which everyone tries to find this treasure, because it's needed, it's important, but it's quite difficult to start building your passive income sources. You can start a YouTube channel, create content.
It also takes at least a couple of years.
It takes a lot of time, yes, indeed.
To actually get a return from it.
You can buy some real estate and rent it, but it requires quite a big investments. You can rent things. You can, there's a lot of ways to build your passive income sources, but it takes a lot of time or a lot of money.
And thought,
Exactly. So, building passive income, wonderful, but it takes a lot of work to do that and money. So, building a safety net and building some basic income for yourself is really nice. But when you're young, you should start thinking about it, in early age, and just start creating things and try to get money from that. But it's difficult.
We all agree that it's difficult.
Exactly.
But what is easy in this life?
What is easy in this life? Exactly. What is easy?
So nothing is easy. So I think we're almost.
What's the time?
15 minutes. We spoke 50 minutes.
50 minutes.
Yeah.
Not
bad. 15.
Wow. No, I was thinking about freelancing, like musicians in Lithuania. Like, what gives you jobs? Who's the?
We have one pianist walking, and she's now laughing. Who gives you jobs? I mean, sadly, I'm not an orchestra musician. So I cannot play in orchestra. Then some other jobs which I could take, I don't really want to take because I don't feel that I was studying for it or I was preparing for it. And especially in a pianist, like if we like shorten, if we closing this niche until pianist, it is very complicated. That's why I think it's very important to be very inventive, because as a pianist, you can build your brand, you can do many things, but you have to be very self-driven in order to survive. So what happens with a lot of us, we go a little bit to organizing, like for example Kaunas Piano Fest. And I think it's a nice way, because in a way for me, maybe sometimes only playing is also a bit boring, you know?
Totally.
So,
yeah.
you know, I decide to do festival, or I decide to do this discussion just because it's also an expressive thing for me, but I understand that this is how it probably will work, that I will have to have multiple streams of income.
Of income and of exposure, I guess. People are going to know you a lot better now, you know, and they're going to know that you're a pianist. So I think it's a really good decision of yours to do this.
I think the most important thing for a musician is, you know, because people, yes, there can be more orchestras.
Yeah.
But do people really need more orchestras? They probably don't need more orchestras, you know? So, okay, it would be cool to create one extra orchestra and then hire musicians.
Yeah.
But, you know, as you say, like, they don't need it. So I think it's important for us to go out of this mindset that it can work only this way, you know? Maybe you can have your YouTube channel and it's not a bad thing. It's not it shouldn't be considered not a prestige thing, you know?
Exactly.
Earning money, it's prestige.
No, that's prestige, yeah. As in Wolf of Wall Street, that person, I can't recall, but he said, I've been a rich man and I've been a poor man, and every time we choose to be a rich man, you know? They can say that, you know, money doesn't bring happiness, money doesn't help you, happiness comes from, you know, feelings and social interactions, but yeah, money helps in many cases.
We can actually end with this pyramid of Maslow.
Oh yeah,
you know,
totally.
We have physical needs, and which includes
without them,
food, roof,
and shelter.
Shelter, and you know, and you cannot have these things without money.
Exactly.
So look for multiple streams of income.
Yeah, build an emergency fund. Brand yourself. And like the thing you're doing with like this festival is really nice, because you're branding yourself with it, and you're most probably building a few sources of income, which is fantastic. So yeah.
Actually, not really.
But maybe someday. Maybe someday.
Maybe, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but we are thinking that, you know, this is like a.
Yeah.
I mean, like your YouTube channel.
Yeah, we're not making money, but maybe someday.
Someday, yes. But you know, I think it's not also, just to finish, not a bad thing to actually want to earn money from the thing, because I think there's also this taboo a little bit that, you know, this is like a volunteer and completely like support thing, you know?
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be like that.
It doesn't.
It's normal that, you know, I get paid for my services, which are, for example, you know, host this discussion or do things. So I think this is also a mindset thing.
Totally. So yeah, I think we had a great discussion.
Yes. So thank you everyone for watching. And you will be able to re-watch that on Facebook or YouTube. Yes, Jorge? Yes. And if you are watching from other countries, you can join our live concerts every day. They're all on 8 o'clock in the evening. Only on Sunday it will be at 5, and the gala concert day, 24th of July, it will be also on at 5 o'clock. So keep an eye on our Facebook page, and thank you for joining us, and thank you for Tomas. Oh, we need one thing. Wait here.
Okay, I'm waiting.
Wait here.
Oh.
I came back. And this is our handmade key,
really
which
nice.
says Kaunas Piano Fest and festival friend. You can see it. Can you zoom it? Okay, you zoomed it. Jorge, thank you. And thank you so much, Thomas. And this is for you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It looks really nice indeed.
It is made from an old piano, which is not, you know, we cannot
really
play with it, but you can.
I will play with it, you know.
You can practice your
your
trills.
Exactly.
So thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.